here with Dr. Michael Birdwell, who has a new book out.
Yes, I do.
Thanks for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about the history of your work on the people of the Upper Cumberland.
Okay, this is the new book, People of the Upper Cumberland, Achievements and Contradictions. This project started 5 years ago. Calvin Dickinson and I wrote a book before this one called Rural Life and Culture of the Upper Cumberland, which is the worst title ever, but it's a great book. And so when reviews came out about the book, people were reviewing the book we didn't write. They're saying this isn't in the book, and this isn't in the book, and this isn't in the book. So it's like we just wrote those things down. Okay, we didn't do this, we didn't do this, we didn't do this. And so that was the genesis of this. Then it was finding the authors to write those things that we didn't have in the first book. And we're already being told what we left out of this book.
Well,
it's amazing how critics are, and they're just like, well, this isn't in there. Where are my people?
So you're getting ready for the trilogy.
Well, I've got 2 other book contracts I've got to fulfill first. But
okay.
yes, we are. One suggestion has been that we do a book on industries in the Upper Cumberland. You know, like Colonel Sanders started in Corbin, Kentucky, which is in the Upper Cumberland.
Mm-hmm.
Stearns Coal and Lumber Company, which of course now is Big South Fork National River and Recreation Area. That's hard to say. And so that may be, but Randy Williams, who has an article in this about Native Americans, and it's quite good, Randy Williams' suggestion is that we do something about crime in the Upper Cumberland.
Ooh.
Now, see, that will sell books.
Yeah.
You know, and there's all kinds of notorious folks. Mm-hmm. So that's a possibility. But we're always looking for stories.
Cool.
And it's not hard. But this has medicine. There are 3 articles about medicine. There are 3 articles about African Americans. Mary Alice McClellan is the very last photograph in the book. And we have an article about John's Place. I have an article about J. Robert Bradley, who was an opera singer who was taught here at Tennessee Tech before integration. And so then I've got an article about moonshining. There's an article about Troy Smith has an article about Champ Ferguson. Mike Allen on the Cumberland River. There's just a host of different stories in here.
So what a great idea with this book not necessarily being something that you and Dr. Dickinson just kind of hammered out. This was a group collaborative effort. You had journalists, you had historians, lawyers, storytellers telling the story of the Upper Cumberland.
Correct. And, you know, and the next one, we will have a varied group as well. And the idea is that, I mean, I love that folks come to us and say, hey, have you thought about writing about this? Have you thought about this? And there's a story in the cover. I mean, the cover, we didn't choose the cover. Mm-hmm. You know, we gave UT images to illustrate the book, and I'm glad that they chose this picture for the cover. This photograph was taken by Albert Ganier in 1941. Albert Ganier was an ornithologist in Nashville. We have Radnor Lake because of Albert Ganier.
Oh.
And so Ganier goes to Pall Mall to shoot 67 photographs that were used to make the costumes in the set of Sergeant York. So it's just, you know, that's just a wonderful photograph.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, so what, just, you know, a short summary of what is your favorite part of this book, or what just sticks out to you as just a quintessential story of the Upper Cumberland?
I tell you, Laura Clemens' story about J. Robert Bradley, it made me cry when I read it. It's just really, really good. And Mike Allen's story about the Cumberland River, and taking it from prehistory to the present and he writes beautifully. I mean, those 2 are 2 of my favorites. Of course, the ones I wrote, but I'm very pleased with this anthology.
All right, so where can folks get this wonderful book?
Well, the book, you can get it through Amazon, but the best thing is to contact either me or Dr. Dickinson, because we can get it for you at the author's discount price.
Okay.
So instead of paying $57 a book, we can sell it for $40.
Oh, awesome. Are you sure you want to get bombarded with emails and calls?
Look, we want to sell books.
Okay.
And the thing is, once the press reaches a price point, you know, the book price will come down. So that's in everybody's best interest.
Okay, to contact you.
Yes.
All right, and we'll put that information up for you. Anything else you'd like to give us about your project, or what you have coming up?
Well, I have 3 things coming up.
Okay.
On November the 6th and 7th, the Tennessee Great War Commission, of which I am the chair, is having our first symposium about the Great War. It's in Nashville from 9 to 4:30 on the Bicentennial Mall and State Museum and the state, the military branch. So we want folks to come out for that.
Okay.
Then I'm working on a book on Tennessee in World War I. and then working on getting ready to gear up for the next Upper Cumberland book and finishing a book on moonshine. And there is a teaser in this book
Okay.
about the moonshine book. So there's
Well-
a chapter on moonshine that's like, wait for the full story.
Okay. Well, we do love our moonshine in this
We do.
part of the country. Thank you again, Dr. Birdwell, for joining us.
Thank you,
And
Desiree.
We'll get back with more Discover the Upper Cumberland.